Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Professor Victor Micheli is here again. If you have reached up to this point in video, what is next? That means that you read the cover, the Module 0 welcome and general course information, right? So you read the cover, let's get started. The Module 0 welcome and general course information dealing with the welcome to Math 121 Intermediate Algebra, Time Commitment, Mid-Journey Structure, the introduction video, the student expectations, and so on. What you need to know about this course, okay? Dealing with assignments with the discussion questions. So you went up to this one, and you know that you're going to have some discussion questions created by a rubric. Okay, so uh, you have to solve the problem. That's going to be 9 points. Then you have to reply to two students in a substantive way. Okay, something that connects you through concept to the real world examples, observational research, and so on. So, example of non-substantive post, think for the graph with explanation, I agree graphing, and so on. Okay, so be careful with the reply because I want to give you the 15 points. If you find that you're gonna have, let's say, 9 points because you solve that problem correctly, but no peer replies, or if you have 11 points, it's because your peer replies were not good. Okay, so remember again what is a peer reply and reply in a substantive way. Then you have the quizzes. Remember, we're going to have the quizzes using Responder Lockdown Browser. And if you have any problem with one question or your question is wrong, let's say your question is wrong, so you can resolve that question is a piece of paper showing uh, um, showing your correct answer, clear step-by-step explanation, and a short note explaining why your original answer was incorrect. All correction will be submitted Saturday at 7 p.m. So in your comment box, you're gonna find something like this. So here is where you have to submit it. And I'm gonna give you the full credit if your question is correct. Also, the unit exams, remember you're gonna have 4 unit exams and the final exams. The unit exam are gonna be online and the final exam it's gonna be in person in Pecos campus. Okay? Here you have your course calendar. My advice again is for you to print it and have it on your hand. So here you will see what are you gonna cover during those weeks. For example, week 1, module 0, module 1, and module 2. When is my first online exam? It's going to be here. My second is going to be here. My third one is going to be here. And the final exam, I'm going to try to make my own. July 13, time and place are going to be announced, but the math division is going to have the final exam July 15 to 1 in the mornings from 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. You will have to email me if you want the first choice, the second choice, or the third choice, which is going to be July 15 from 5 to 7 p.m. Remember, is mandatory in person, no online options. Okay, great. And then you will have to complete the following assignments: the discussion question, personal biography dealing with the module 0, the practice quiz using Responder Lockdown Browser, and the Concourse syllabus, and module 0 quiz. Okay, for example, this discussion question, remember we have some due dates, right? And when you reach the due date, the question is going to close. It's not going to be open. Okay, so try to avoid procrastination. The question of personal biography, you will have to answer something like this. Hello, everyone. My name is David Martinez, and blah, blah, blah. And then remember, you have to reply to two of your peers in a substantive way. Okay? Then you will have the concourse syllabus using respondents. Remember to practice. Remember here you have some information about respondents or lockdown browser. You have to follow the instructions. Okay. And then during the first week, the same week, we're going to start with the lecture. We're going to start with Unit 1. Unit 1 run from Module 1 through Module 5. Here you have the overview and learning objective. And here we have what we're going to cover. Unit 1, Module 1, function review, and Unit 1, Module 2, rule for practical domain and vertical and horizontal intercept. How are we going to cover this? We're going to cover this. Here you have the summary. We're going to have this. Something is missing here. Let me double check. Let me see. Okay. So here the PowerPoint presentation, what I call the animated PowerPoint presentation. So click in this corner and your presentation is going to be open, and then you're going to click step by step in order to enjoy the animations. One step, one click, learning objective, another click, wait for the animation. Unit 1, Module 1, function review, wait, okay? A review of term, function notation, and evaluating a function. Imagine you are in a classroom, but with no voice. My voice would be the animated uh, presentation. For example, quantity, variable, and constant. This is going to be the first lecture, right? So what is a quantity? Okay, make a reflection. Characteristic or attribute of some object that I can imagine measuring. Okay, make a reflection, not only click, 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 make a reflection. So that means when the final quantity will be specific about what object and what specific characteristic about that object we're referring to. For example, okay, quantity of money, quantity of cars, quantity of rates, and then we're another concept or definitions variable. What is a variable? So you're going to say variable, something that varies, right? And you're right, something that change. Can you imagine now something that change? Yes, you could say, okay, my weight change, time change, and I'm gonna call time T. My weight, I'm gonna call it W. It's up to you. Okay, time change, that's a variable. And something that doesn't change is a constant. For example, the number 3, the number 7, or let's say pi, 3.1415, and so on. Okay, so functions are typically expressed as a combination of variables and constants. Okay, now I'm going to be quiet for some seconds, and you're going to read and imagine I explaining this. Did you understand this? So you're going to a dealer, you're going to buy a car. So you want to know how much are you going to pay, and you're going to pay some with some interest, right? But the interests are going to change depending on your credit score. So if your credit score is high, the interest rate is going to be high, low, and so on. So those are going to change. That means those are going to are going to we're going to call them variables, and we're going to give them a name for the credit score. We're going to call it C. You can call it whatever you want. An interest rate, we're going to call it R. Maybe you can call it I, and so on. Okay. So this is the way we're gonna. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna teach this. Then, if you click next, you're gonna have support material for this module. It's really important for you to go to the support materials. Take your time. For example, here, function notation. Some students used to lose some important points because of function notation or evaluating a function. Really, is really important. For example, how to evaluate a function when substituting variables. Evaluating functions, they're not going to be so easy as you think. Okay, so that's why you have these support materials. And also during that week, this first week, we're going to cover the module 2, which deals with rule of 4, domain and range, vertical and horizontal intercept. Yes, intercept. So again, click here, step by step. Okay, step by step. Okay, great. Also, you will have the support materials for module 2, and then you will have, if you click next, you will have the check your understanding for the modules 1 and 2. Those check your understanding are some activities I post here for you to practice. They are not homework, but they are you're gonna need them in order to practice. Most of the examples, activities over here are gonna be very similar to the questions you're gonna have in your exam. So my advice is for you to go to the check your understanding, print it, and solve it. And of course, if you have some kind of problem solving the check your understanding, here you have also the solutions, and also you will have here some videos about how to solve it. Again, the check your understanding are activities that they are not going to be collected, they are not homework, but they're going to be useful for you to understand the much better topics. And then finally you will have the other graded assignments, the discussion questions, and the quiz using Respondos Lockdown browser. For the discussion question number 1, we'll deal with module 1 and module 2. Okay? So here you have a problem similar to the problem you're going to have in the test. So percent of cremations is given by this equation. So the answers are, so that means that you're going to answer this in a piece of paper and submit it to me. Identify what is the independent variable. The dependent variable, show your work. It's very important to show your work. If you don't show your work, you're going to have some penalties. Okay. And then when you finish, answer these questions. Okay. Here you have the directions. Your response will be handwritten, and then you can upload it here. And then remember that you have to reply Respond meaningfully to two classmates to complete the assignment. Those are the peer reply. So remember the grade, the rubric is going to be 9 points plus 3 points plus 3 points. Okay, if your replying is not good, maybe you're going to have 0 here or 1 or 2. Meaningful reply. And then, finally, you will have to complete the quiz. Number 1, remember again using Respondus Lockdown browser. Okay. And you're gonna have question like this one. Okay, and remember also if you fail in one question, if you have a typo, I'm gonna say, hey, this is a typo. Okay. And I'm gonna give you full credit. If not, you can correct also your answer in a piece of paper again. I'm reading, and you have to show me why you had this wrong answer and submit it to me before Saturday, 7 p.m. to have the full correction. Okay? So I think this is everything we're gonna cover during this what is next during this first week. If you have any question, please let me know and I will be here to help you. Okay? Thank you.